good evening. Welcome to another edition of your favorite sports show on the internet and, of course, on everywhere else. This is a game plan show. My name is Fifi Anaman. As always, as usual, I'm here to feed you with everything that has been happening in the world of Ghanaian sport. We're streaming live on our Facebook page at Pulse Ghana Sport. You can join us with your comments, and I'll be glad to read them on the show as well. And on tonight's menu, a lot of things to discuss. I'll be telling you about Richard Ofori, Ghana's first choice goalkeeper for the for the Black Stars. He has landed a deal in South Africa. I'll bring you all the details as to what he'll be doing there, and all the background information to that move from WA All Stars to a South African club, which I'll be revealing during the course of the show. I'll also be telling you about the Commonwealth Games, the Commonwealth Youth Games, in fact, which are currently ongoing in the Bahamas, Nassau, the Bahamas. We have a contingent of 12 Ghanaian athletes who are competing. And, there's been some progress and, some of them making us proud. I'll be bringing you all the details as well. And I'll be telling you, finally, about Hearts of Oak. Trouble brewing in camp? Well, we'll find out later on in the show. We are hearing, just some murmurs that, some people are dissatisfied at the club. I'll be giving you all the details as well. And also be giving you an update on the Asante Kotoko situation. Remember last week during the Ghana Premier League, or on their way from a game in Accra, they were involved in a fatal accident. We have an update coming in from their camp regarding Coach Stephen Pollack. I'll be telling you about that during the course of the show. So please remember to share your comments with us. Comments are what I live for on the show. I love interacting with everyone on the show. Any suggestion that you have, any complaint, any news that you want to share with us, please do so on the game plan show. I'll be glad for us to interact, on the show tonight as well. Now, what do we do? Let's go for a quick breather on the show. I'll be back, same here. I'm a bit distracted with what is happening at the moment in the studio. A lot of things going on. Let's just go for a break and I'll be back on the game plan show. Back on the game plan show. Thank you for joining us. You can see I'm all bubbly on set, ready to feed you with everything that is happening. Now let's read some comments coming in. Emmanuel Kwaku, you are saying nice. Kofi Tima, you are saying watching you live from Tafo. Thank you very much for joining. Dominic Donk, you are saying Fifi, you look fresh. I'm watching you from Belgium. Thank you very much for your kind comment. Amos Ejari is also saying nice. And of course, Kofi Tima watching from Tafo. Now let's delve straight into what is happening in the camp of Richard Ofori, who is a former goalkeeper for current Ghana Premier League champions WA All Stars. Now he has landed a move to a South African club named Maritzburg United. It's a 3-year deal, which means he'll be based in South Africa, for the foreseeable future. And of course, Richard Ofori has been perhaps the biggest goalkeeper in Ghana over the last 3 seasons. He's been goalkeeper of the season for the 2014-2015 season. He was also goalkeeper of the season in the 2015-2016 season, leading WA All Stars to the league title by keeping 15 clean sheets in 27 games. Very impressive record there, Richard Ofori. And of course, earlier this year, he was named the Premier League Footballer of the Year at the Swag Awards. So, very heavy profile he's sending to South Africa as well. Of course, he gained a Black Stars call-up at the tail end of last year. He was in the squad that faced Egypt in Alexandria during the World Cup qualifiers. And then later on, he gained a call-up into the squad for the 2017 Africa Cup of Nations, which was played in Gabon. Now, he got his debut, or his first full competitive debut, in the 3rd place playoff against Burkina Faso. And since then, and of course, since the return of Ghana coach Kwesi Appiah, he has been the #1 for the Black Stars. He's been in the post for the game against Ethiopia, in the post for the game against Mexico, and in the post for the game against the US of A. So it's safe to say that he's our safest pair of hands at the moment. Of course, he's now 23 years of age. He'll be 24 in November. And I can see Isaac Otubo in the studio laughing at Richard Ofori. But that's just what is happening with him. He'll be playing at Maritzburg United, or the team of choice, as we call them. Now, it's something interesting. Now, Maritzburg United, right, they had a goalkeeper named Virgil Vries from Namibia. Now, he's a 28-year-old. He was in post for them for 21 games during the last PSL season. And, you know, his contract came to an end. And interestingly, the club decided not to renew the contract. And so what this means is that Richard Ofori is walking straight into the team as number one, because their former number one, Virgil Vries from Namibia, has not been given a contract renewal at the club. Interesting there from Richard Ofori. I'm sure you are watching some of his highlights on your screens right now. Very versatile goalkeeper, very agile as well. Has been heralded as one of the most talented goalkeepers to come out of Ghana in the last few years. So he'll be spending most of his time at the Harry Gwala Stadium in Pietermaritzburg over the next 3 years. Of course, if he doesn't land a move to anywhere else, that is where you can find Richard Ofori, the number one goalkeeper for the Black Stars. If you want to monitor him, follow the PSL, the South African League, and, you know, follow his performances as well. Now, last year, in October, after he helped the Wild All Stars to a league title, which was in fact the first time that a team from Northern Ghana had won the league, or from the northern regions, he went to South Africa, stayed with his friend who was then based at Orlando Pirates, Edwin Jima. Most of you remember him. He recently got his contract cancelled at Orlando Pirates, but he's a close friend of Richard Ofori. So Richard Ofori went on holidays in South Africa and stayed with Edwin Jima. And we're hearing reports that it was during this time that he grew his love for the PSL. And we were hearing that he was getting offers from Europe and from Asia as well. And he decided to stay in the PSL after he stayed with Edwin Jima last year. He had a trial at Cape Town City, which is a new club which, you know, replaced the erstwhile Mpumalanga Black Aces. I'm sure most of you will remember that club. He had a trial at Cape Town FC, which didn't go well for him. And so he came back to Wild Stars. And this season, you know, the 2016-2017 Ghana Premier League season, he has been, you know, on and off for Wild Stars. Many people were complaining about, you know, his lack of consistency because, you know, as a Black Stars number one, you are supposed to be getting games consistently at club level. Now, you know, his prayers have been answered and he's joined the team of choice, Maritzburg United, in South Africa. So that's it for Richard Ofori, who will be playing in the PSL for the foreseeable future. What do you think about this move? Do you think it's a good move for him? Do you think he should have stayed in Ghana and perfected his skills? Of course, he's still 23, 24. Very young goalkeeper, has a lot of footballing years ahead of him. You know, most goalkeepers play until, of course, you know, when they're about 38, 39. So he has a lot of years. And if he stays in top shape, he might be with the Black Stars for a very long time. Share your thoughts with that on our Facebook page. We are still live on the Game Plan Show. Let's know what you think about Richard Ofori's move to Maritzburg United as well. So, yes, Pietermaritzburg has a new Ghanaian coming to town, and let's see what you guys are saying about the move on the Game Plan Show. We are still streaming live on our Facebook page, Pulse Ghana Sport. Do well to join us and share your comments with us. Vitalis Parks, you are saying, I love your outfit today, bro. I am stuck on my bed watching till the end. Interesting. Vitalis is always watching our show. We should invite you to the studio one of these days to share in what we do here at the Game Plan Show on Pulse Ghana Sport. Vitalis, thank you very much for your loyalty. And Nana J, you are saying great. Thank you very much. Yao Nyaku, you are saying Fifi, you do all. Thank you very much for your comment, Yao. I can see Yao at the moment. Now, Daniel Kojo Ayeto, you are saying you are watching live from the US of A, the United States of Adan. Thank you very much for joining us on the show. Godfred Ayuku, I see you. Good evening, Fifi. Thank you very much, Godfred. Now, Godfred, I'm still on your issue. We have been discussing it in the newsroom, we are looking for, you know, a few leads before we tackle it. And so I want you to know that we have not forgotten about the plight of Moroccan students in Morocco. And so yet, I think we are done with the comments. Let's move on to our next topic. From Richard Ofori, let me tell you about the Commonwealth Youth Games, which are currently happening in Nassau in the Bahamas. Now, Ghana sent a contingent of 12 athletes. 4 of them left on Saturday and 8 of them left on Sunday. Of course, the games began on the 18th of July, which was yesterday. Sorry, on the 18th, which was Tuesday, in fact, and it will run until Sunday, the 23rd of July. Now, what is happening in the Ghana camp? We are hearing that Abeku Jackson, our #1 swimmer, who has over 13 national records and so many medals from various youth-based competitions around the world. He was fit in the 50-meter butterfly event that was played out there in the Bahamas. So in Abeku Jackson, of course, qualified from his heat right into the finals, but he couldn't make the medal zone for the 50-meter freestyle. We're also hearing that he'll be competing in the 100-meter butterfly event. We are still waiting for confirmation on that. Remember, we have other athletes as well. In swimming, we have 14 to 15-year-old. She's now going on 15. Kaya Forsen will also be swimming for Ghana in that particular games as well. Let me tell you about all the other athletes that we have. We have 2 cyclists, 2 boxers, 1 judoka, an athlete, 2 swimmers, and 2 beach volleyball players, as well as 2 tennis players, making 12 athletes. And we sent 11 officials as well. So Abeku Jackson made the final of the 50-meter freestyle event that happened at the Betty Kelly Kennan National Swim Complex in Nassau, the Bahamas. And he was fit in that event, so he couldn't make the medal zone, but he's still young. Abeku Jackson, only 16 years of age, and a lot of prospects, a lot of achievements awaiting this young, talented athlete. Now let's move on to the beach volleyball side of Ghana, who have been competing at the Roscoe A.L. Davis Stadium at the Queen Elizabeth Sports Complex in Nassau, the Bahamas. They have won 2 matches already, and they are into the semi-finals of the competition. Interesting. A Ghanaian contingent doing us proud there. They beat Papua New Guinea by 2-0 and by also defeated Trinidad and Tobago 2-0 in there. So 2-0 against Papua New Guinea and 2-0 against Trinidad and Tobago for the Ghana beach volleyball side. They are coached by Moro Mumuni, who is based in Ghana and is currently in the Bahamas, guiding these boys to make Ghana proud. So 2 pieces of update coming in from Nassau, the Bahamas. Abeku Jackson placing fifth in the 50-meter butterfly event after, you know, qualifying to the final. And of course, the beach volleyball side winning 2 games and qualifying into the semi-finals of the tournament. Remember, the Commonwealth Youth Games are currently ongoing in Nassau, the Bahamas. 65 nations representing 1,049 athletes, 9 sports, a lot of excitement. For those of you who love other sports, you might want to follow as well. We have a lot of, you know, athletes in the boxers, swimmers, you know, volleyball players, and, you know, beach soccer. A lot of interesting sports happening in the Bahamas, the ideal holiday location. I'm sure most of our athletes who are there are, you know, absolutely excited at the prospect of competing in such a beautiful country. So remember, Ghana has an all-time record of 1 gold medal and 1 bronze medals in the Commonwealth Youth Games. It began in 2000. There's been 5 editions already, and the one currently ongoing in the Bahamas is the 6th edition. Interesting. It's for athletes between the ages of 14 and 18. So very young people, teenagers competing, a lot of, you know, prospects building and brewing there as well. So that's it for the update from the Commonwealth Youth Games. The Ghana contingent will be still competing over the next few days. And on the Game Plan Show, like we always do it, we'll be bringing you all the updates as they happen. On Monday, of course, we'll be back on the Game Plan Show to give you everything that happened over the weekend. Let's take a quick breather on the Game Plan Show, still streaming live on Facebook, Paul's Ghana Sport, with me, yours truly, Fifi Anaman. I'll be back with some more. we're back on the game plan show. A lot of interesting stuff we've been discussing tonight on the show. I've told you about goalkeeper Richard Ofori, who has landed a move to what? The team of choice in South Africa, Maritzburg United, based in Pietermaritzburg, South Africa. And yeah, he'll be spending the next 3 years at the Harry Gwala Stadium there. Interesting stuff coming in for our #1 goalkeeper with regards to the Blacks. And I've also told you about what is happening at the Commonwealth Youth Games, where Abeku Jackson was fit in the 50-meter butterfly event in swimming, as well as the beach volleyball team, which is growing in leaps and bounds, having qualified into the semi-final after beating Papua New Guinea by 2-0, as well as Trinidad and Tobago by 2-0. Now let's move on to our last topic. Let's come down to Ghana again, right? We've done South Africa, we've done the Bahamas. Now let's come into our country and see what is happening locally, what is brewing. Now Accra Hearts of Oak, well, there seems to be potential trouble brewing after it has been revealed that the technical team have not been paid since February when the league started. It's been about 5 months, and coach Frank Natal of Scotland has still not been paid for his services. Interesting there. Of course, this was confirmed by their communications chief, Kwame Opare-Addo, earlier today. He was speaking to City FM. He said, and I quote, "Let me admit that salaries have not been paid, but management is still working on it." He went on to say that we are taking care of it, and we always want to make sure that we are on top of any issue bothering on our personnel. So we are working on resolving it. So it's been 5 months, and of course, Hearts of Oak are currently third on the Ghana League log. 22 games played, 10 wins, 6 draws, and 6 losses. They are 7 points away from the top. They have a game in hand. Of course, league leaders Wafa also have a game in hand. Very interesting battle going on at the top of the Ghana League log. We have Wafa, Aduana Stars, Hearts of Oak, and Asante Kotoko. Asante Kotoko, of course, have 2 games in hand now. Hearts of Oak have a single game in hand, but they are 7 points adrift off top. Coach Frank Natal, of course, arrived before the start of the season, wielding a UEFA Pro license in coaching. He came from Zamalek, where he was assisting his mentor, Alex McLeish, at that club as well. Before then, he was in charge of Gor Mahia, the big club in Kenya, and he won the 2014 and 2015 Kenyan Premier League titles. Let me tell you something interesting. He won the 2015 Kenyan Premier League title unbeaten in 30 games. So he came in with a very, very, frightening profile. So he also won the Kenyan Super Cup as well there, as well as the Kenyan Super 8 League trophy. So he won 4 league trophies at Gor Mahia recently, and of course went the whole season unbeaten as well. Frank Natal, who is a 49-year-old coach from Scotland, he has not been paid for the last 5 months at the helm of Accra Hearts of Oak. Of course, he traveled back to his country a few weeks ago, and we are hearing reports that he might just be dissatisfied with what is happening in the camp of the Phobians, who have rather been doing well this season. They've not won the league, since 2009. Interesting, it's 7 years ago, I believe. No, 8 years ago, yes. 8 years since Accra Hearts of Oak won the league, and this is the season they are hoping they put things together. Of course, they have a lot of players doing very well this season. Thomas Abbey, their captain, is on 10 goals already. He's not even a striker, firing from all cylinders, and the Phobians have been doing well. Of course, bar that humiliating defeat at Sogakope at the hands of Wafa. Of course, they lost by 5-0. I think the team has done really well this season. They've only lost once at home. Of course, I was talking about how in 22 games, they have won 10 of them, 6 draws, 6 losses as well. So Frank Natal, all other things being equal, has been, in my opinion, a very good coach for Hearts of Oak. Of course, the fans have been patient with him, and that has helped as well. But he has not been paid, and for how long is this going to continue? Well, Communications Chief Kwame Opare-Addo is saying that this is going to be resolved soon, as the management is still on it. So that's it from the camp of Accra Hearts of Oak. Coach Frank Natal and his backroom staff have not been paid for the last 5 months. What do you think about this? Share your comments with us on the Game Plan Show here on Facebook. We are streaming live on our Facebook page, Pulse Ghana Sports. Join us and let us read your comments for you on the show. Let's see who is watching and who is commenting, which is the favorite phrase of our MCR guy, Kojo Cheneboa, who is looking at me right now as I'm talking. Let's see who is commenting. Still live on our Facebook page, Pulse Ghana Sport. And remember to follow our Twitter page, Pulse Sports GH. It's very important that you follow it for us because we feed you with, the best in sporting content, local, international, football, boxing, basketball. We cover the whole 9 years, and you do well to follow us on there as well. Now, Akwesi Kwashi, you are saying I'm a bit too late just to know more updates. Akwesi, you are not too late. We've been talking about Richard Ofori, about the Commonwealth Youth Games, as well as about Hearts of Oak and their unpaid technical team. Now, Isaac Zoe, you are saying brilliant job, fam. Watching you live from Kingston College School of Creative Industries Center. Thank you very much, Isaac Zoe, for your comment. I appreciate it. Godfrey Ayuku, you are saying Hearts of Oak jerseys are really nice. Well, I agree with you. Very, very dope jerseys, as we say, dope. Coming in from Accra Hearts of Oak this season. Doing very well in the league. I'm guessing you're a Hearts of Oak fan, the Godfrey Ayuku. Now, Prince Baba, Yaya Rahman, you're saying Fifi, or Fresh Fifi. Fresh Mr. Fifi, I am watching you live from Bologna, Italy. Thank you very much for your kind comment. You are always watching the show, and I appreciate it very much, Prince Baba. Salisu Abdullah, bless up Fifi, I'm watching you live in Italy. Good job. Thank you very much, Prince. Salisu, okay, I've read your comment. Ibrahim Diko, good luck to Richard Ofori, who has joined Maritzburg United. Thank you for your comment, Ibrahim. Charles N in GH, you are saying you are watching live from Dusseldorf in Germany. Dusseldorf in Germany. Thank you for joining us. Imakweku, okay, thank you very much. Richmond Apasu Wesley, bro, you look decent and I like your style. Keep it up, bro. Thank you very much, Richmond Apasu, for your kind comment there. More comments coming in. Nana Kweku, you are late to the show today. I see you. And congrats on your anniversary. And a happy birthday to your wife as well, especially from me on the Game Plan Show, Nana Kweku. Thank you for always watching us. I appreciate you very much. You're saying you're a bit too late. Can you please start over? Well, let me just give you a quick, review of what I've done. I've talked about Richard Ofori, who has joined Maritzburg United, the team of choice in South Africa. It's a 3-year deal. He's joining from Wild All Stars, where he won the league last season. He's been the best goalkeeper in the Ghana Premier League for the last 2 consecutive seasons. He was named the Premier League Player of the Year at the SWAG Awards. He'll be turning 24 in November, and he's been spending time in South Africa since October 2016 when he went on holidays. He's already had trials at Cape Town City as well. Now, that's the whole rundown for Richard Ofori. And for the Commonwealth Youth Games, 12 athletes currently competing. We are hearing Abeku Jackson, the swimmer, was fit in a 50-meter butterfly event. And the Ghana beach volleyball side are currently into the semi-final. They beat Papua New Guinea by 2-0 and Trinidad and Tobago by 2-0. And then the last topic we've been discussing, Hearts of Oak, the technical team led by Coach Frank Natal from Scotland, have not been paid since February. 5 to 6 months there. And the Hearts of Oak communication chief, Kwame Opariado, has confirmed that management is hard at work at getting their monies paid for them. And so that's basically the rundown of what we've been discussing on the Game Plan Show. Nana Kweku, you are saying thanks, but thank you too for joining us on the show. Ferguson Kwanza saying, my boss. Ferguson, you're also my boss. Thank you very much for joining the show. Ibrahim Labara Isa, you are saying, keep it up, Pulse Ghana. This is Labaran from Lima. Thank you very much, Ibrahim Labaran. Muftao, I see you watching, always watching quietly. Why don't you comment, Muftao? You're doing a good job with your YouTube videos. I follow them keenly. Keep it up, Muftao, Nabila, a colleague journalist of mine. Ferguson Kwanzaa, you're saying, oh, Haspa, that's bad. Well, this is Ghana. These things happen. Of course, they're unfortunate. But the good thing is the management is saying that they are on top of issues and they will be solving them soon as well. So Hearts of Oak, third on the Ghana League log, having won the Ghana Premier League in 9 years. I can see camera guy Isaac Otuba signaling me to end the show. But I have to read your comment. Very, very important here on the Game Plan Show. This has been me, Fifi Anaman, on the Game Plan Show. Thank you for joining us for the show. Let me send a few, announcements your way regarding what has been happening in the Asante Kotoko camp. Now we are hearing that Coach Stephen Pollack, the Englishman who coaches Asante Kotoko, who was involved in an accident and hurt his right knee and, of course, had surgery last Thursday. He has finally been discharged from the Komfo Anochi Teaching Hospital, CAT, in Kumasi. Interesting news coming in. We are very glad that this has happened. Coach Stephen Pollack has, been discharged from the Komfo Anochi Teaching Hospital. Of course, Nana Beche is still being monitored after, his surgery. And of course, all other players we are hearing have been discharged. And Kotoko players are now training under Ernest Appel, the under-18 coach. Of course, we are hearing only Obedawusu, who was involved, has trained a bit with the side. But all the injured players have been given time off, to recuperate. They are all convalescing as well. So that's it for the game plan show. A shout out I'm supposed to give, but Isaac Otubwa is not being too clear about it. I can't hear the name. I have to end the show and make sure I do it too. On Monday, today is Thursday, we don't do the show on Fridays. We'll be back on Monday. This has been yours truly, Fifi Anaman. Have a lovely, lovely weekend. We'll be back on Monday to do the recap of everything that happened at the Commonwealth Games and, of course, in the Ghana Premier League as well. Stay blessed.